Hi, welcome to the Father and Son Watch Show. I'm John. Elliot's out of the office today. So we're just going to do a dad talk show. And today I'm going to talk about quartz watches. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s when quartz watches were coming into their own. And, that's all I knew for a long time. And then when I was introduced to automatic watches, actually just, maybe a decade ago when I received my grandfather's Bulova, I really thought the automatic watches were the end all be all. And, I still love automatic watches and mechanical watches. I love them a lot, actually. But, I have renewed my love for quartz watches, thinking about the watches I grew up with, and then having quite a few quartz watches in my collection. I just love how easy they are to maintain. And so I just want to talk about that. As most of you know that are into watch collecting, quartz watches started in the late 1960s. One of my favorite brand, if not my favorite, Seiko, started the first quartz watch that got released. It was the Seiko Astro, or Astron, sorry. It's not a baseball team in the US. The Astron. And it was in 1969. And I was looking up the price for that, and the price was about $1,250 back then, which was a lot of money in 1969. In the equivalent dollars today, that'd be about $9,000 for a quartz watch. So when quartz watches first came out, they were quite expensive. It took a little bit of time for them to be, rolled out and mass produced, and they brought down the costs. And then, Casio and some of the other watch companies came out, with a lot of quartz watches. And so they were pretty affordable, and they got the reputation as being cheap, which is kind of sad. So, it's hard to think about as a newer watch collector that, at one time, quartz watches were the newest technology and people really wanted them. But, I have grown to love quartz watches. Today I'm wearing my Casio Duro. It's my newest quartz watch. So I'll try to get it to focus in there a little bit if I can. But Elliot's got a Casio Duro too, and I admired his. And this is a great quartz watch. This is the quartz watch that I'm wearing the most right now, mainly probably because it's newer for me and I'm in the watch honeymoon phase. But man, this thing is so wearable. I can swap out the straps. Very dependable, very accurate. And that's one of the reasons why people initially came out with quartz watches, is because they were very accurate and more shock resistant than automatic watches, you know, and thinner, which is something I like too. Another quartz watch I wear a lot is my Timex Expedition. Another very reasonable watch. I mean, this Casio Duro was about 50 bucks on Amazon. This one was about $35 at Walmart. Super easy to maintain quartz field watch. And then you have the other quartz watches that you can get are solar quartz watches. This is an Eco Drive by Citizen. Another reasonable watch that you can pick up that, never needs a battery. So, one of the downfalls to quartz watches, and really I think of it as a benefit, is needing a battery. But, a lot of these watches, the battery lasts for 2 or 3 years. A lot of Casio watches, their batteries last 7 or 10 years, which is incredible and really nice. Here's another quartz watch I have that's on the affordable side. It's a Stour watch that my dad had. And it's another classy looking, kind of a 1970s replica. It looks a lot like that Seiko Astron that I talked about. And it's very nice. And, this is a cheap watch that most collectors aren't crazy about. A lot of negative things, but a lot of people like them. But, this one hits every marker, and so does the Citizen. The second hand hits every marker. The Duro does. Now the Timex is a different story. It doesn't hit every marker, but still it's really accurate. So I would have to say, if I have to grab a watch each day, if I'm in a hurry, it's going to be a quartz watch. If I don't have time to set the date and the time and wind a automatic watch, I mean, it doesn't take very long, don't get me wrong. But, if I don't have time for that, I'm just going to grab a quartz watch. Right now it's going to be my Duro. So that's a great advantage. I mean, it was funny when we did the time change in the US about a week ago, having to go through and change all my watches. But the one good thing about the automatic watches is, I don't keep them running all the time and I let them run down. And so they're easy when you have to change the time with the daylight savings time. But the quartz ones are easy too. So yeah, I gotta say I have come full circle, you know, within the year and a half that I've been collecting watches, from kind of being a watch snob where I thought automatics were the only watches that I really should collect, to really enjoying these quartz watches. They're great. They take a beating, much more shock resistant than automatic watches, or most of them anyway. Super accurate. Their accuracy is great, better than most automatic watches. And they have a lot of different styles, features, water resistance. They're great. I love them. So if you're on the fence about getting a quartz watch, or you think they're not as good as automatic watches, I just want you to think about that and reconsider. Um, so let me know what you think about these watches. Tell me if you have some in your collection. If you like quartz watches at all. If you like automatics better still. If you like quartz watches still. I was thinking of the movie Spaceballs, where they called the Force, like Star Wars, they called it the Schwartz. But what I want to say is use the quartz, not use the Schwartz. So, dad joke there. So, anyhow, I hope Elliot doesn't watch this. He'll be so embarrassed. Well, you guys take care. God bless. Keep on ticking. Remember to make some comments about quartz watches. And remember to like and subscribe. God bless and keep on ticking. Tick, 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 tick.